الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الناصح الأمين. اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين. ثم أما بعد يا عباد الله. Undoubtedly there is a tremendous lesson for us in the advice that Luqmaan gave to his son. And continuing looking at some of the benefits that are contained inside of this advice, we reach the second part of the advice, or the second piece of advice, in which was given by Luqmaan to his son. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs us in his noble book as relates to what this advice is. As Allah Jalla wa Ala, He says, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ. And we have enjoined upon the individual, we have enjoined upon the human being to be good and dutiful to his parents. We have enjoined upon the human being, upon the individual, to be good and dutiful to his parents. Shaykh Fawzan, Hafidhahullah Ta'ala, he says, هذا الحق الثاني. This is the second right. بعد حق الله. After the right of Allah Azza wa Jal. Because the first piece of advice was to not make shirk with Allah Azza wa Jal. Do not associate partners with Allah Azza wa Jal. Meaning to establish the right of Allah Azza wa Jal, to worship Allah and to worship Allah alone. Do not associate anything with a partner with Allah Azza wa Jal inside of that worship. To implement the Tawheed and to stay away from shirk, to establish the right of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then after mentioning this, the second right that was mentioned was the right of the parent. To establish the right of the parent. Na'am, the right of the parents. وَهُوَ حَقُّ الْوَالِدَيْنِ. And this is the right of both parents, the mother and the father and the mother. وَلَكِنْ الْحَقُّ الْوَالِدَيْنِ عَظِيمٌ. Thus, the right of the parents, it is tremendous. It's a tremendous right. It is not something that could be left or belittled. It's a tremendous right. وَيَأْتِي بَعْدِ حَقِّ اللَّهِ. And it comes and is mentioned after the right of Allah Azza wa Jal. وَلَكِنْ لَا يُوَدِّيهِ مِنَ الْأَوْلَادِ إِلَّا مَنْ رَبَّاهُ وَالِدُهُ عَلَى خَيْرٍ. But this right will not be established, and the children, they will not bring forth this right, except for the child who was reared by the parent upon good. Except for the child who was raised upon good. Only those children raised upon good will bring forth this right and be dutiful unto their parents. رَبَّاهُ عَلَى الطَّاعَةِ. Those individuals who have been raised upon obedience unto Allah Azza wa Jal. Those individuals who have been reared upon being obedient unto Allah Azza wa Jal. Then these are the ones who you will find will be dutiful unto their parents. These are the ones who you find they will treat their parents in the most excellent and goodly of manners. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ. And we have enjoined upon the individual, upon the human being, to be dutiful and good to his parents. هَذَا مِمَّا يَعْظُمُ حَقُّ الْوَالِدَيْنِ. This is from that which it increases and it magnifies and it shows us the importance and distinction of the right of the parents. أن Allah Azza wa Jal wassa bihi, is that Allah Azza wa Jal, He commanded with it. He commanded that we be good unto our parents. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ, and we commanded human beings to be good and dutiful to their parents. يعني أن يحسن إليهما بالقول والعمل والبر والإحسان والرحمة والشفقة, is that the individual, he has to be good unto his parents. Meaning, they have to treat them kindly and goodly in speech, in action, being dutiful unto them. They have to treat them in the most excellent of manners. They have to be merciful unto them. And they have to show concern and true care for them. لِقَاءَ مَا قَامَ بِهِ مَعَهُ فِي الصِّغَرِ. And this is as a response, or this is in answering, and this is in light of what they had done for him when he was little. This is in light of what they had done for him when he was little, or what they had done for her when she was little. So therefore, they are to treat their parents good, as their parents have treated them good. They are to treat their parents in the most excellent of manners, as their parents had treated them in the most excellent of manners. They are to treat their parents with good and be goodly and good to them, due to all of the sacrifices, all of the pain, all of the strife that their parents had went through to take care of them. Allah Azza wa Jal, He mentions to us, from this effort and from this strife and from the harms and the burden in which the mother had done for the child, and how this child, he owes his mother, but it's a debt that he can never repay. How the child, she owes her mother, but it is a debt she can never repay. They owe the father, but they will never be able to repay the debt unto the father. For they will never be able to do for the mother and the father what the mother and the father had done for them. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ, that his mother carried him, his mother bore him with weakness and hardship upon weakness and hardship. His mother bore him upon weakness and hardship upon weakness and hardship. يعني ضعفا على ضعف, weakness upon weakness, كراهة على كراهة, distasteful things upon distasteful things. لما تقاسيه في حمل من اللام, from that which she experiences and goes through while she is pregnant, from pain, from much pain, a shadida, a tremendous pain. How many of the women when they're pregnant have pain in their back, pain in their legs, throwing up, not feeling well, so on and so forth, pain upon pain, anguish upon anguish, discomfort upon discomfort. And this is while they are pregnant. وَالْأَخْطَارِ الْأَكِيدَةِ, and with harms that are known. No one argues about them, that are confirmed, that are identified, that are there, that are reinforced. No doubt about it, undoubtedly. How many of the women, they are bedridden when they are pregnant? They can't even leave the bed until they give birth unto the child. This is what the mother goes through for the child. The child never will experience such and go through such for the mother. ثم إذا وضعته الوضع أيضا عملية خطيرة يموت فيها النساء بكثرة. And also, once the woman, she delivers and she gives birth, this within itself is an operation that is dangerous, in which causes and results in the death of many women. Many women die during childbirth. The birth itself is that which the woman, she will experience pain from the contractions. She will experience pain from the child being born, whether that is vaginally or whether that is through C-section. This is something that the woman goes through that the child will never go through for the woman. How many of the women, they have the perineum split and it's severed while the child is being born naturally, as they say? How many of the women have to have their abdomens cut open so that the child can be extracted, so that the child will not die inside of the womb of the woman due to the duress that the infant it is in at the time of birth, that it can't come naturally, it must be extracted from the woman's stomach. That the woman now, from that point to the rest of her life, she bears the scar upon her abdomen from when the child was cut out of her, for the child's sake, for the child's well-being. This is something that none of us could repay our parents for. This is something that none of us could repay our parents for. Not even for one contraction. Not even one contraction could we repay our mothers. Let alone everything else they may have gone through the course of them delivering us. So therefore, ya ibad, reflect upon this. We have to be dutiful unto our parents like they were dutiful unto us. We have to treat our parents in the most excellent of manners like they have treated us in the most excellent of manners. When we reflect and we look upon this, who from amongst us could honestly repay their mother whatsoever for that which she had done for us? And this is not even the end of the story. This is not even the half of it, as they say. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He goes on and He explains to us that even after she gave birth unto us, وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ, and His weaning was in 2 years. She breastfed Him for 2 years, taking care of Him, feeding Him from the milk of her body for up to 2 years. وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ, and His weaning was in 2 years. 2 years was the weaning. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He explains to us elsewhere in the Qur'an, وَالْوَالِدَاتِ يَرُضِعْنَ أَوْلَادَهُنْ حَوْلَيْنِ كَامِلَيْنِ, and the mothers, they suckle their children for 2 complete years. So for 2 complete years, we literally fed off of our mothers. This is something we can never repay. This is something we have never done, and we can never do. We can never reproduce this and match this tremendous act of kindness and mercy in which our parents and our mother in particular has shown unto us. So who then therefore in their right mind will be disrespectful to their mother? Who then therefore in their right mind will forget about their mother and not have concern for their mother? Who then therefore in their right mind will not want to honor their mother? Look at what your mother has done for you before you were even born. Look at the care that she had taken for you while you were being born. Look at the pain she went through for you. And after you were born, look at the kind, gentle things that she had done for you. And Shaykh Fawzan, hafidhullah ta'ala, he says, وَلَيْسَ ذَلِكَ فَحَسْبَ, and it's not just that and then that's it. بَلْ إِنَّهَا مَعَ كَوْنِهَا تَرْضِعُهُ فَهِيَ تَنْزِلُ عَنْهُ الْأَذَى. Not just that, but even while she was in the state or in the time frame where she was suckling him, she will also repel from him harm. She will repel from him harm. Even after the time frame where she suckled him, she will repel from them harm. She will repel harm from her child. Naam, by way of her hands, biyadiha, by way of her hands, she will prevent harm from him. By way of her hands, she will fan the child from the heat. By way of her hands, she'll make sure that the child was wrapped up and kept warm and felt comfortable. By way of her hands, she would protect the child as much as she possibly can. The mother, when the child was little and couldn't fend for themselves. When the child felt pain, she felt pain. When the child was happy, she was happy. Which one of us now could repay our mother for the like of this? So how is it now that we are adults and we realize the sacrifice and what she has done? How come we are not happy by that which she is happy by? How come we don't feel pain by that which causes her pain? How come we don't have a concern for her like she had a concern for us and still has a concern for us? And still has a concern for us. Where are we from even acting like we are trying to repay a debt that we know we can't repay? Where are we from treating our mothers and honoring our mothers in the most excellent of ways and most excellent of manners? Where are we, ya ibadullah? Our mothers who strove so hard to make sure that that which benefits us reaches us, and that that which hurts us is repelled from us. Where are we now that we are strong? Now that we are big? Now that we could try to make sure that which benefits her reaches her? Now that we can strive our best to make sure that which harm her is averted from her? Where are we from striving to be excellent to our mothers? Where are we for striving to be excellent to our fathers? Where are we when it comes to being dutiful unto our parents? Let us reflect and think about this, and let us remember that Allah Azza wa Jal has commanded us to be good and dutiful to our parents. So let us be of those who implement this ayah as it should be implemented. بإذن الله تعالى. هذا أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولجميع المسلمين فاستغفروه فإنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. يا عباد الله, dear brothers, reflect upon this. Reflect upon the plight of your wives who bore your children. Reflect upon what they had gone through. Let this be a cause and a reminder for you to be merciful unto them, to be good unto them, to treat them well. Remember the sacrifice. Treat your parents well. Treat your women folk well. Allah Azza wa Jal, He goes on and He says, ثم قال جل وعلا أنشكر لي. To give thanks unto me. To thank Allah Azza wa Jal. Because remember that all of this whole protocol, this whole process, by way in which we are born, is that which Allah Azza wa Jal He has decreed. That which Allah Azza wa Jal He has written. For what? For our benefit. For the benefit of human beings. When we couldn't defend ourselves, Allah Azza wa Jal, He provided us with those who would take care of us and look after us. Put love inside of their hearts for us. From before they even met us. From before they even saw us. From before their eyes even glanced upon us. They loved us. They loved us from the first time they saw us, and even before. A parent who would rather they lose their own life than any harm come to their child. This is the mercy that Allah Azza wa Jalla has put inside of the hearts of our parents. So we have to thank Allah Azza wa Jalla. Everything of good that comes to us is from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Everything of good that comes to us is from Allah Azza wa Jal. So thank Allah. Allah Azza wa Jal amara bi shukri. Shaykh Fawzani says Allah Azza wa Jal, He commands us to thank Him and to be grateful unto Him. Firstly and foremost. Naam, to thank Allah Azza wa Jal first and foremost. The Shaykh Fawzan, hafidhullah ta'ala, he says, to thank Allah upon His bounties. على نعمه العظيمة, upon His great bounties in which He gave to us. And from those bounties in which Allah Azza wa Jalla bestowed upon us is what? Is our parents. Is our parents. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla, He commands us to thank our parents. As Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, أنشكر لي ولوالديك. Thank me, then your parents. Show gratitude unto me. Show gratitude unto your parents. Shaykh Fawzan, he says, show them thanks due to that which they had done as relates to our right. That which they have established as relates to our right in raising us, in feeding us, in taking care of us, and having a concern for that which will benefit us, repelling from us that which will hurt us, and so on and so forth. This is the things that our parents, they have done for us. However, you will find, وَعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, as relates to this, and the parents being dutiful and taking care of and being mindful of their children, inside of this time that we live in right now, there is some issues. وَعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. The Shaykh, he mentions, he says, وَلَكِنْ فِي وَقْتِنَا الْحَاضِرِ. But right now, in this time, modern time we living in, انشغلت النساء عن الأولاد بالوظائف. But in this time that we live in, many of the women, they have become preoccupied from their children due to their occupations, due to their careers. They don't got time to look after their children. With a'mal, and because they working, they got time to look after their children. Seeking after rafahiyya, seeking after luxury. فصارت تكل أولادها على مربيات أو إلى دور الحضانة. So therefore because they chasing after the dunya, they chasing after luxury and so on and so forth, then they hand the children over to the nannies. They hand the children over to the preschools and the daycares to look after and take care of their children. أو غير ذلك, or other than that, ممن لا يشفق عليهم ولا يرحمهم, from those who they don't have a concern for them, nor do they have mercy upon the children. There is no child care, no daycare that's like the mother's care. There is no outside care like the mother's care. There is no outside concern like the concern the mother has for the child. But because these women, they are chasing after the dunya, this is what is happening. And we're not talking about those women who are placed in that situation out of necessity. We're not talking about them. No. We're talking about those women who do it out of choice. We're talking about those women who do it out of choice. وَعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Have concern for your children. And also this is an address to the men, that the men have to step up and be men. Now, you pride yourself on being a man. Be a man. Take care of the woman folk. Be a man. Allah Azza wa Jal, He allows us to marry 2, 3, and 4. Be a man. These women who are struggling and placed inside of this situation out of necessity, who are single mothers trying their best, be men, be dutiful, be righteous, good men. Marry them. Take care of them. Raise the children like they are your own. Take care of them. Free her from having to be thrust out and placed inside of that rat race. Free her from having to need this. From those who are married with women, take care of your wife. Make sure, try your best so she don't have to want for the likes of these things. Remind her of that which will benefit her, so she can benefit you and her by raising the children properly. Because there is no job in this world that's going to yield a greater profit than her raising righteous children. There is no hourly pay that will equate to that. There is no promotion. There is no title. There is no position that will equate to that. But if she want to chase that title, chase that position, chase that promotion, chase that money, chase that dollar, and then your children are neglected, your children are left, your children fall by the wayside, your children grow up to be despicable individuals, then what they going to benefit you when you dead? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, a righteous child that makes dua for the parent. A righteous child that makes dua for your parents. Because you neglected them chasing the dunya, now your child grows up as the most despicable of individuals. How you going to benefit from him when you're dead? You see, what does that investment of you investing in your career equate to when you're dead? But if you invest in your children, invest in your family, you will be from the first to reap the rewards in your life and after your death. If you invest in your family, then the society will be from those that reap the rewards when there is produced from your house individuals who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, upright citizens, people who are benefit for a society, not those who are cancers to a society, but those who are healing, those who are benefit to a society. All of that starts at home. Allah Azza wa Jal, He reminds us of this fact. And this is why Allah Azza wa Jal ends the ayah by saying, إِلَيَّ الْمَصِيرُ. And unto me is your final destination. Unto me is your return. O child, if you're not dutiful to your parents, like you have been commanded to be dutiful to your parents, if you're not thankful unto Allah as you have been commanded to be thankful unto Allah, then know you're returning unto Allah, and Allah will hold you account and punish you for what you have done. And likewise, parents, if you are not raising your children properly, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing as a parent, unto Allah is your return. Allah will hold you account. Allah will hold you account for that which you have neglected. Allah Azza wa Jalla will hold you to account for that which you have polluted, for that which you have ruined. Allah Azza wa Jalla will hold you to account for what your own hands have put forward. Ilayya al-Masir. Unto me is your return. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He ends this ayah with the most strong, the most adequate, the most sufficient of reminders. And that is, we are returning unto Allah Azza wa Jalla. So let the children be dutiful to their parents. Let the parents be mindful of the rights of their children. Let us treat each other all good as we are to treat each other, and give to one another our rights. Let the husband be good to the wife be good to the husband, the parents to the children to the parents. Until Allah is our return. Aqimus.